to it real quick. So let's get this party started. Let's go ahead and get into it because I was discussing with Anna. I really think all my introductions to stories pretty much tell you what the story is. So I don't want to do that. Let's just go ahead and jump into the first video.
I'm a 50-year-old woman, and my daughter-in-law, who's 24, gave birth, and she doesn't seem to want to have a relationship with me, which is making it difficult to have a relationship with my son, who's 31, and my new granddaughter. Hello Reddit, I'm looking for advice on how to build a relationship with my daughter-in-law and get over the rift that she's causing since giving birth. My son David, who's 31, has been married to my daughter-in-law, B, who's 24, since September of 2020. Due to the pandemic, I never really got to know her because they only dated for about a year before they got married, and I didn't know about her until they dated for almost 6 months. I love my son very much, but I feel like our relationship has been rocky since they got married. My son has a daughter from a previous relationship who's 10, and since they got together, I haven't had the same relationship with her. I know this is partially because he moved out of my house, very suddenly without saying anything I may add, and I no longer get to see her on weekends. I try to get them to bring her to visit when they have her, but usually I only see her once a month or so, and lately it's felt like she's been more distant when she visits. I think that this is because B says negative things about me around her, and I find that unfair. They just had a baby at the end of January. She was induced due to preeclampsia and in labor for 3 days before having a C-section. I had been in an accident a few weeks prior, and I don't have a vehicle, and my son refused to pick me up to be there for the labor at all or to see the baby in the hospital. But her parents got to see the baby and were in the parking lot the entire time. I called him when she was in labor a few times, but on the second day after her water broke, I called him and heard her snap at him to get off the phone, and he refused to accept any calls after that. I just wanted to know that the three of them were okay. She was in the hospital for 2 days after the C-section, and they wouldn't stop to visit me on their way home after the birth because she was hurting. Even though she had painkillers she could have taken, and she didn't feel right, according to my son. This is when I became concerned that she had postpartum depression. My daughter picked up B's prescriptions and some groceries for them, and she got to see the baby that night. My daughter and B have a relationship that's apparently pretty good. I was supposed to visit a couple of days after they got home, but she ended up insisting that something was wrong and went back to the doctor, who apparently sent her to the hospital. My son told me they diagnosed her with postpartum preeclampsia, but I'm pretty sure that's something that only happens during pregnancy and went away after birth, so I'm pretty sure he was confused.
So
Post
Guess the world centers on her, huh?
partum
And
preeclampsia.
Postpartum
means
preeclampsia is what my wife had, and it almost killed her, and she spent a week in the ICU. So,
yes,
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
pretty big deal. Yeah, she's fine now,
Good.
but she
Oh,
almost
all
died.
good now?
So,
I'm
yeah,
so glad to hear.
yeah.
all righty. Let's see who's all out there real quick.
Yeah.
Um,
Hi.
Ashley, Tracy, many of your videos bring groans.
No, they don't. They bring joy. Joy.
Tracy, I thought you had said you were
It
doing
comes.
the Red Tusk interview last week, but it's upcoming this Tuesday.
It's coming up this Tuesday.
Okay.
I think she said in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And Mickey is saying hello.
Hello, everybody.
During her second day of labor, she snapped at you. I hate to tell you this, but maybe she was hurting, depressed, and afraid. Back off.